The Canadian military is investigating another apparent suicide of a soldier, the fourth in just over a week. And the tragic cases may only hint at the magnitude of the problem. Global News has obtained incident reports on suicides and attempted suicides among regular forces. Last year, for every soldier who took his own life, another attempted it. These are dedicated military men who come back from active duty broken and mentally ill. And as Shirlee Engel reports, some say the military would rather get rid of them than give them the help they need.
Master Corporal Sylvain Leliev spent almost 2 decades in the military, serving on tours in Bosnia and Kandahar. But it all came to a tragic end at his base CFB Valcartier on Monday. Military police are investigating and won't confirm the apparent suicide.
The key idea for us now is that the family know that they're not alone.
Leliev's death comes after last week's devastating news. 3 other soldiers took their own lives.
And new documents obtained by Global News show there are still many others crying out for help. These Defense Department incident reports from 2012 show for every recorded suicide of a serving member, there was at least one other soldier who attempted it, 11 in total. And those are just the ones being reported.
They treat you as quickly as they can.
Last week, we met one soldier who attempted 3 times and said he isn't being offered the right help.
Most of the time, it's very hard to sort of find, aha, that's what went wrong.
Colonel Rakesh Jetley is a senior psychiatrist and mental health advisor to the military's Surgeon General. He says even soldiers who are getting help can quickly spiral out of control.
At that moment that the individual is hopeless, how do we inject a bit of hope into the person? So that's the challenge, and that's the part that we're all kind of struggling with.
The recent spike in suicides has hit Liberal Senator Romeo Dallaire so hard he hasn't been able to sleep. Still in the grips of PTSD from his time in Rwanda, yesterday he nodded off behind the wheel and crashed his car on Parliament Hill.
I feel failure that I've not been able to move the yardsticks.
He won't accept the Defense Department claims that its suicide rate is lower than the general population.
If we've got the same average as somebody outside, even though we're committed to these operations and we're trained to do that, there's something wrong with that analysis. It just keeps pissing me off.
Dallaire says while stigma is lower, there needs to be more of a sense of urgency to get help for soldiers and veterans transitioning into civilian life. That's what veteran Tim Laidler's organization focuses on.
It's this going from a soldier as that person's identity to trying to recreate themselves in the civilian world. When they put on a few PTSD symptoms with that, it causes a lot more struggles.
Because the more soldiers who retire in the coming years, the more crucial that kind of support will become. Shirlee Engel, Global News, Ottawa.
The Prime Minister faced questions in Parliament today about the suicide of soldiers and complaints not enough is being done to help those struggling with PTSD.
But this is unprecedented. So can the Prime Minister tell us what he and his government are doing to address this tragic situation?
I think it's the responsibility of all of us to encourage those who need support, those who need help, to get that help. We should reach out to them and encourage them to do that. Those supports are available, and we will make sure, of course, Mr. Speaker, that they continue to be available to those people.
The number of troops who have committed suicide is nearly the same as those who have died fighting at war. According to the military, 138 Canadian Forces personnel were killed in action in Afghanistan. During that time, since 2002, at least 136 soldiers, including the 4 this week, are believed to have committed suicide.